one is exciting. What up, Jobins? Episode 139. We got our special guest, Kyle Hanan, the man behind the ReCharge Center. Let's fucking go. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing fantastic.
You feeling good today?
I'm super honored to be on the Brendan Smitty show, man.
Dude, and you're rocking our merch. We can't tell you how much that means,
hey, man,
bro.
This is good stuff. The coloring and everything. It's good material. I highly advise it, man. I can't wait for the next drop.
Oh, thanks, man. I mean, it really does mean a lot. Dude, how fucking awesome is the plaza that we have right now? You and Brendan were just kind of talking about it, and you're kind of thinking we're all going to be moving somewhere is what I just heard, but that made me go, man, I'm going to appreciate this even more than I already do, because we got gyms, we got Tim's 2 gyms, we got all the what's it called? I'm blanking. The workout people.
Die Hard Gym.
I knew that. I'm just blanking because I'm all excited. We got the Die Hard Gym. Then as soon as you walk into the right, we got your awesome ReCharge Center.
Heck yeah.
Jobins, I can't tell you how much it's helping me. These guys make amazing, good, organic, quality meals. You don't even got to do anything. You just got to heat it up. It's good to go. And the price. The price is reasonable. For what you're getting, dude, it's like, what, $11 a meal?
I think so. We got some plans where you get down to $8 or $9, I think.
Yeah, with like if you buy 3 or something like that, right?
Yeah, we've been struggling with the price point. It's kind of like some people, I'll do this myself. I'll splurge and go out to Carl's Jr. or what is it, Hardee's, back where you guys are from, right?
Yeah.
You guys have that? Yeah. I'll go there and spend on one meal $25, but for some reason, if I'm eating healthy, I don't want to spend $25. So some people don't want to pay those double digits yet, so we're still trying to climb out of that. But man, you're saying the plaza we're all in. I feel like I've been spoiled. I feel like our place is so beautiful. It's growing so rapidly that I'm getting used to watching things grow into something phenomenal. I mean, the new gym is just next level beautiful. It's just so awesome. And then adding you guys in there, Schmitty walking around and stuff and lighting the place up, man.
Oh, dude.
You've taken the plaza to the next level, bro.
Oh, dude, I appreciate that, bro. Well, you guys are the ones that I guess we're doing it to each other, you could say, because the life values that I learn every day going in there and being surrounded by all you guys, and like you said, the community we've built with everybody, it's something to be really, really special to be a part of. I'm very honored.
Me too.
Yeah. So I'm very grateful. And we're not missing out on Art, because we also got his Arts Recovery Center that's right next to yours. So
started it all.
It's literally like a health mall.
Yeah.
A mental life health mall.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
Who was the mastermind behind the ReCharge Center? Was that all you?
We were going to open up probably 2 years before we actually opened up where we were in a gym. It was called XL Fitness. There was a cafe at the bottom. Mm-hmm. And we opened up, and we were going to make it kind of coffee-centric and a little bit more service-oriented. It was a pretty large cafe. And the gym, we did a grand opening, and the gym closed down the next week. So it wasn't meant to be, and we're like, darn it. So we just kind of kept our day jobs and rolled, and then the opportunity came up to open up the ReCharge. I had been dropped from my cancer treatment program. So we were like, oh no, I thought I was sitting in Art of Recovery, kind of healing, and I kept looking at this open spot right next to him. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, man, if I'm not going to make it, because my doctor had said, if you don't go out and do this trial in Houston, that's 6 months, and I'd be away from the family, and it was pretty risky. She said, you're not going to make it this year. So I thought, if I'm not going to make it this year, I'm going to do something for Art. Her dream is to cook. That's my wife. We call her Chef Mama Arya. So I was like, let's go for this. Let's do this. And with the support of the community, we were able to make it. Without the community there and how generous people are and how kind and amazing, we would have never made it.
Wow. That's so amazing to hear, dude. So inspiring, too, at the same time, because how awesome are you to be going through all that kind of stuff and then still be doing what you're doing, man?
Oh, man, with the generosity of Tim and Sugar, I mean, those guys saved my ass more than once in the last 3 years, and just watching how they lead the community. I don't even think they realize what leaders they are of not just our community, but an entire international community. I mean, the Jobin community just rocks. That I consider myself an old an old guy Jobin. I don't
You
know
the
if
OG, baby.
I don't know
He's
if that's
OG as
possible.
it gets. What are we talking about here, Kyle? You OG as fuck.
But the Jobin community, I mean, shout out to Max in Minnesota. I had a trial up there. He's a Jobin, and he reached out to me, picked me up from the airport, showed me around, and there's been a lot of stuff like that with the Jobins where it's just this group of guys. I think the group is better than it even realizes.
That is really cool to hear because that's our whole message, right?
Yeah.
Like we get a little wild, like Sean and Tim, they get a little wild.
Got to.
But that's the reward. Those guys work so hard, and then it's funny how the message gets spread as of people take that as, oh, they do it all the time type stuff.
Right.
You know how many times I get asked, how much does Sean smoke? And I'm like, oh, dude, he's such a one-hitter done, and very often they're like, really? They're so shocked by it. And it's these guys work night and day. They're so hard. Dude, you're a hard worker. Arya was telling us about you, dude. You take life and you go, baby. No matter the circumstances. And that takes a lot of guts and a lot of glory and a lot of honor. You know what I mean?
Game recognizes game. We're all cranking it out, man. We're all working hard every day in the community.
Right? And that's what's so awesome to hear. It's like our message, at the end of the day, the Jobin message is a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's eating right, sleeping right, thinking right, taking mental breaks, making sure your mental health is good, caring about others, being there for people. And 100%. To hear that our fans are getting that message and they're doing those kinds of things. Shout out to that Jobin who helped you out. Like, what a legend. I want to meet him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Shout out to Max, right? Was that his name?
That's right,
Kyle?
Max. Yeah. We've got another guy too, RJ.
Shout out RJ.
RJ reached out to me after I was on the Red Hawk recap. Another great Jobin dude, and he designed our app for free. He's designed Tim's app, Art's app.
Wow.
Just a great job.
That's a legend.
Yeah, this group is endless. It's international. We had that Jobin that came out from Germany. I forgot his name. He was a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, and we all ate with him at In-N-Out for the first time. He had burgers.
Yeah.
He'll be back. He said he'd be back too.
Yeah, it's just growing stronger. And I think you tapped into something real awesome is these guys, I've known them for 3 years and been around them pretty close and gotten to know you guys more and more over the last few years. And you guys work your asses off. I mean, I see Sean in there working like nobody else, working beyond what I could possibly imagine. And when you're working like that, I think for a guy in his 20s, your drive is going to go up, especially if you're in a warrior type setting. You're fighting life and death. Your drive is going to go up. You kind of need that outlet. You need that outlet of just letting loose and partying. I think when you're younger, and even me to some extent, I got to get out there and have a couple brewskis every now and then. You
got
know
a
what
wild
I mean?
side, Kyle.
Oh, yeah, you deserve to learn.
It's that whole principle, I think, is if you eat bland every single day and then your body gets shocked out of it, you're going to be less healthy. I've noticed that for myself. If I try to get myself in too much of a routine and then something happens to me where I got to be in the hospital, I'm worse off than if I would have kind of prepared myself by not getting in the routine as much and breaking out of it now and then and having a good time.
I am going to rain on a little parade about Mr. Sean O'Malley on you for a second, Kyle, because guess what? Yeah, our buddy fights in a cage and he trains, but Kyle, you're the fucking real fighter, brother. You fight every day, and it's cancer. Cancer is the worst fight in the whole world. And the thing that is so wonderful about your soul, Kyle, you were hyping on about Sean. Sean can sit the fuck down for a second and he can wait. You know what I mean? Because cancer, everybody, I have seen it and witnessed it, Kyle. It's how we handle cancer that I truly believe can also like help you along the way. Wow. Like if I don't think it's good that if you get cancer and you dwell on it and you think this is it and this is over, I think you are going to go out pretty quick. Because with my uncle John passed away from cancer, but he had it for 9 years. And Kyle, he always, cancer sped him up. He already lived life to the fullest, but it sped him up. And he's like you, man. Like, you guys don't stop. You don't want to rest. You want to, even when you're feeling sick at your lowest, you're kind to everybody. You're out running, doing bicycle rides, like shit to where it's like, here I am complaining about a sore leg or a back and I don't want to do something. And you're out there showing me like what it's truly like to be a warrior.
Oh, that's so kind of you to say that. Before there's life before cancer, but it's been 11 years at it now. And life before cancer, I wasn't the same hard worker. I was, you know, I made tons of mistakes with females and was lazy sometimes and things like that. When cancer hit, I'm a God guy, so I was like, man, God, are you real? You better show something, because man, said I had 6 months to live without chemo and 12 months with. I was like, I better get going. So I think what really triggered me to kind of get going is fear. I didn't want to die.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's a good motivator. You know what I mean?
It's weird how things like that kind of shift us in that direction
Yeah.
to where it was like, man, why couldn't I have been like that before? You know?
Right.
But it's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay.
Right. 100%.
It's unbelievable though, man. So
Thanks,
you've
brother.
given that. I just can't. No one, and that's another thing. I can't understand. Brendan can't understand. No one can even understand what it's like to be receptive to that, being told that. You know.
Yeah.
So to be able to stay strong, positive, with a positive mindset, that's another level. It's another level.
Sometimes you gotta have fun with it too. You know, I got my little spiels that I'm the world record holder surviving the most chemo and the cancer patient with the biggest bicep.
Yes, sir.
And I've been kind of branching out that I'm the cell for cell champion. We got Sugar Sean. He's the pound for pound, probably best in the world now, right? So yeah, that's my little WWE spiel there. You gotta have fun with it sometimes and flex a little bit, I think.
I love it, man. So that was 11 years ago when they said that to you?
That's right, yeah.
And look at you, brother, staying strong. That's such a wonderful thing.
Thanks, brother.
It's such an honor. It's an honor, brother. So, Miss Arya, I want to talk about her.
Yeah.
Because she is such a legend.
She's amazing.
I try to do meal preps myself, right? And it's a lot of work just for my 1 week's worth of meal prepping.
Yeah.
And not only does she do, like, I can't even tell you how many different kinds. Do you know how many different kinds she does?
I think we hit 100 now. We've got 100 different types of meals.
100 different types of meals. Holy
crazy.
shit. And here's the thing about these Jobins. They're fucking tasty. They're filling. How many times? Dude, I'm basically living off the ReCharge Center right now
Yeah.
that I work there.
Yes.
It's like it makes my life so easy. And honestly, with the amount that I spend on the ReCharge Center, I'm probably saving money, because you have to buy all the ingredients, right? And then when you're walking around the grocery store, what are you doing? There's other shit to buy. It's in your face. I want to buy it. You know what I mean?
So true.
When I just walk into my ReCharge Center and I just got my meal options and I'm in and out, there ain't no bullshit.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's I low key, I think the price, because I've seen other meal preps that I don't even look as good.
Thanks, brother.
And they're more expensive. So I'm like, I think ours is a good deal.
Hey.
And I think it saves me money at the end of the day. So
appreciate
Jobins, if you're out there, like, I wish you were around our area so you could go get some ReCharge. If you're listening, you never had it yet, and you are in the area, what's our location again? I should know this shit.
Peoria, 9794 West Peoria.
There it is, Jobins. Come say what up. Come get some fucking good organic meals. So Miss Arya's dream was to be a chef her whole life?
That's right. Yeah, she was 6 years old and she lived in pretty humble surroundings. She was kind of in a small village near the ocean in Olongapo, the Philippines.
Really?
Yeah, so
guess what?
yes.
Yeah, she gave me a chicken adobo. That was really cool. That was really good to have.
Our little buddy.
We got the family connection right here.
Yeah, Ara's a badass for real. You both badasses.
Oh, thanks. She would play with shells and build her own little kitchen, and that was her dream. As she grew up, she started a side hustle, and she'd make little meals and little mango freeze pops and things like that, and that was just her passion. Some people are built that way. They're wired for certain things. I think, my wiring, oh man, to stand in the kitchen and have to cook and wait, I got no patience for that. I don't know, no matter what I do, but she just loves it. She can, even on her off days, she'll be in there cooking. It's just, some people are just wired that way. That's her passion and her love.
She's really from the Philippines. You know, my Lola be like that too, wanting to cook for the family and just make amazing food. And it is amazing food too at the ReCharge Center, 100%. Thank you, Ara.
Brother. Thank
Well,
you.
see, that's something that I honestly think America's missing out on these days, man, is because what she's from. The reason why they love to cook and be there for each other is because when they're eating with each other.
That's so true.
And
so true.
food's probably what? harder to fucking get. They work harder to get their food. So the food is more appreciative. So when they have this delicious food together, it's a celebration sitting around with one another. The people you love, the people you can talk with. Fuck, that's disappearing here, man.
Yeah, it's true. I like how there's a lot of cultures that do this too. On New Year's, I don't know if you messed with this, but they lay out the table so everybody eats with their hands. It's like everybody's sitting around the table and you just got Filipinos. Dude,
I've heard of it. We've never participated in that. But I have heard of that.
We got to do that this year.
I wish you were full fucking Filipino like that, dude. That'd be lit. You don't even look Irish. Why don't you just dive into your culture sometimes and start? You need to get into a little phase and start cooking some shit up for us around here. I'll eat on the floor with you, bro. I'll do that shit. You know what I mean? I'll do this research about your culture with you.
Yeah. Let's tap back into my roots, 100%.
Right.
I like it.
So she's from there. When did she come to America?
It's been 6 years now. She moved out 6 years ago to take care of her father, who was battling cancer. As a stepfather, actually, was a retired Air Force dude, and I was visiting him. He was 74 or so in the hospital, so that's how I got to know her. She was a caretaker, and she'd been here maybe a month, and I got lucky because I was without any kind of girl probably for 3 years. Terminal cancer patient, trying to go on Tinder and swipe and trying to find a girl was a little bit tough. So for some reason she was wanted to be with me, and I think the whole cancer connection helped out a little bit.
So it was through the hospital that you guys met?
That's right. Yeah.
That is crazy cool. I mean, it's horrible to be like, I'm sorry it was that circumstance, but then like, you just never know how people are gonna meet. 100%. And it's that is a truly beautiful story to me. Like, you know what I mean?
Thanks, brother.
Because no one likes to be alone, especially when you're going through cancer like that.
No, it's tough.
What did you do to Rizzer? I need to know that. I think Tim would like to know that too. What were you doing? Were you sitting there kind of getting a treatment and she walked up, or what?
Man, I had been even reading books on how can I don't know how you guys do it, man. How you find a girl in this day and age, especially an American girl. They got some I'm sorry to
wrong guy to ask, bud. Sorry.
I don't want to talk. There's a lot of great girls out there and stuff, but it's tough if you're an American guy trying to find an American girl out there in your 20s or whatever. And I think I had just read some books and such, and I had just gotten into trying to be friends with girls, like that whole principle of you don't want to get friend zoned yourself, but just being buddies with girls, just kind of taking that mentality. And it didn't work out so well to have friends when you start dating. That I never haven't been able to manage that so much. Maybe acquaintances or mutual friends where you guys all hang out together, but just having the attitude of I'm gonna be your friend at first.
That's so true, dude. And Mariah was shout out Mariah. Mariah was telling me the same thing because I falter from the same thing, dude. Like it's because it's like when I meet a pretty girl and I like her, I want to date her. You know what I mean? And then she's telling me her drama to where it's like, well, I want to help fix that.
Oh man,
Sean's telling me, what are you gonna fix? What are you gonna fix, man? You got any money? And I'm like, no, not yet. But I'll be there to support, like not like her other boyfriend's doing. But
100%.
It's so true to like I'm learning and I'm doing it more. It is so much better to have girls as friends because you can get tips from them. You're just more. The more you're around girls, the more you're comfortable with girls. You know.
I don't know what it is too. Is if you got. I'm watching Art of Recovery. He's man, that dude. He's a master, man.
Well, hold on. He doesn't count. Hold on. My boy Sean is a marble sculpture of a human being, and his hair is so flawless. Like, damn, he's so lucky.
He's pulling more than I could ever possibly imagine or dreaming. And I think there's something about having, you start to be friends with girls, or you have a couple of girls that you're dating, or maybe even got. I don't know if it's, having multiple girlfriends or whatever. I don't know what it is. It puts something out there in the air, or if it's something about yourself where girls start coming a little bit more often.
I'm telling you right now, Kyle, I was with Art at the club. He was just standing there. And then he's just standing there. A girl's dancing right next to him. And then all of a sudden I look again. They're making out. I don't think he even said a word.
It's legendary.
Yeah, he just gives him a look. I've seen it too. He'll look at him and he just pulls them in, and when he pulls them in, they start making out, and it's like, well,
It's
good God,
incredible.
you're a god.
We'll be sitting in there in Art of Recovery, and a beautiful girl will walk by, and he'll just go out there, talk to her. Next thing you know, I see her. You know, he's going out on a date with her. She's in the shop, things like that.
Yeah, they're wet together in the cold plunge. It's like, my God, Art, we get it. Art, we know why you did the recovery center, you sick bastard. But no, yeah, dude. Rizzing girls is tough. So what'd you do? Let me get back into that. What'd you do?
What's that? So so with Ara, I tried to be her friend a little bit, but she was really, man, there's something with Southeast Asian girls. They really like American guys, and they overrate us. Whereas I think that a lot of American girls, they underrate American guys.
Fuck
you know
American
what I'm saying?
girls.
Darn it.
Yeah.
So that I think that helped me out a little bit, but I was trying to figure out how to make my first move on her. And I was in Walmart. I had to buy some little what do you call it? When the kitchen timer and they go ding or whatever. I don't know, those little alarm clocks.
Are those just called what? Oh my gosh, clocks? I don't know. The timers to stop. I don't know.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with
I
a
don't
word
know.
too.
ring?
What is the word for that?
A ringer?
A ring? Just like ring?
That sounds right.
It's a timer, a cooking timer.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, a cooking timer, I guess.
Yeah.
I had to buy some for my son's class. I don't even know what they're doing. So I took it and we were in the car. I just got out of Walmart and I put it up on the dashboard and I set it for like 3 minutes. And then when the bell rang, she was just kind of like, what the heck? And I said, oh, when the bell rings, you got to kiss me. And that worked.
Ooh, that was smooth.
That was. So she probably gave a big smile when you said it.
Yeah.
That's
She was like, what?
fire, Kyle. So Kyle is a black belt in Riz.
I don't think
That's
so.
what we've learned in this podcast so far.
Two-stripe white belt.
No. That was some good Riz right there. Out the pocket. That's lit. I'm working on my Riz game, Kyle. It's confidence. You know what I mean? It's sheer confidence. Tim's hooked me up with David at the
He's the man.
at the work. God, I'm blanking again. Die Hard. Jesus,
We got
Schmidt.
too many crazy names to
I
remember.
know,
in our
man.
complex.
Die Hard. And that gym is so legendary. I feel like it's been around since the 70s. The vibes in there, it's what it is.
And I don't think their machines have changed from the 70s. Like I asked the owner, Tim Sparks, he's a great guy. He said, "I'm not changing the machines. I'll just fix them." And they make crap machines these days. That kind of mentality.
I
in the
respect
gym.
it.
Me too. I love it. It's
I
just
know.
old school in there. There's holes in the wall and things.
You got to jack shit up to make it up to my height. And I love it. I feel like I'm in a car shop. It's fire. Brendan was in there for the first time today recording with me.
Oh hell yeah.
It was pretty fire. And you know what was so cool too, what you're saying? Because I feel like the older stuff that they made is better than the newer stuff anyways.
True.
Like the material it's made of.
Yeah, you're right. I think so. It's more handcrafted. We're not cranking them out in a factory or something maybe.
Dude, David's legit though, man. And then him talking about your form and everything. It was inspiring me. I was like, dude, I want to work out.
My goal is to become a sexy god. Titan. I'm going to be a Titan. Titan Schmidt.
I think you're already rolling with that, man.
Oh, I appreciate you, Kyle.
Why, are you getting sore from the workouts?
So I do, because Kyle pushes me. But what's really nice is I do notice with these protein shakes, Jobins, they make you feel, your muscles feel better. So my recovery, and I've been going in the sauna and stuff.
Wowzers, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to really lock down a good, clean diet. Soon David wants to start me eating 4 times a day, but super small amounts. Right now I'm just eating 2 times a day. I'm drinking a shake in the morning. I eat my 1 meal at night.
Wow.
So I'm really trying. Yeah, when my dad passed away, I got fat again as fuck. And then even all the Jobins were like, Schmidt's getting fat again. Time to shit on him. And it's like, dude, I'm a stress eater when it comes to stress, like hardcore stress like that. I was eating sweet Hawaiian rolls like they were fucking Skittles.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
Butter
and
on
shout
it.
out Emo's Pizza. I fucking miss you in St. Louis because I had you about 6 times in about 5 days. So
let's go.
yeah, literally one of the days I could feel my hand going numb, and I'm like, man, I might be eating myself to death here. I don't know. I gotta stop. But yeah, a good self-reflection for me is always how I look. So once I started doing vlogs, and it would hit me in my face of, whoa, you have backpedaled, buddy. It kicked me into high gear.
How you went through losing your father. I mean, I don't know what that's like, but that's a rough one. And I got to meet your dad, I think, in this house, right?
Yeah.
What a tremendous
I'm so awesome it
guy.
happened.
Ted, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I appreciate
just
you.
a charismatic. I can see where you get a lot of that from.
I appreciate that.
So to have that relationship you guys have and being so close to your dad, and then moving away for a little bit, and then I think there was a lot of elements going on with that. I commend you, man.
I appreciate it.
Hey, we all fall. We go, something hits you. Happens to me. We get bad news in the cancer treatment, and Ara and I have our little tears, and you gotta step back up and start climbing. And man, look at you climb right now, brother.
I
You're
appreciate that.
Crushing it.
When
bro.
I'm surrounded by you, Kyle, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Sit and cry? Hell no. And my dad wouldn't want me to be. He told me, you should live life. I said, yes, sir. Man. I'm surrounded by you guys who influence me, and it's like for real, being unhealthy is the worst thing. And the more, dude, isn't it shitty? Like, why do we live in a world where I scan everything with this health app and it's telling me it's going to cause all these cancers and shit? Wow. And I'm like, we've built up this society where everything we eat and use is just horrible. What the fuck?
It's true.
Like, Kyle, why is the world so backwards, dude? I know you don't have Kyle, give me the answers in the world, please, right now. I know you don't, but it's just silly. Sometimes I'm like, man, if we just had a universe in a world like this, what things would be done and accomplished? Yeah, right. Instead of this bullshit that we got going on all the time.
It's true. Sometimes it takes shaking things up a little bit. I think in a lot of ways we've become a culture of convenience.
Right.
There's a lot of comfort things. We've done a great job. We've done such a great job. Now we're kind of paying for the convenience and comfort part. Sometimes it takes shaking it up, going into another culture, living out in the jungle for a little bit.
I know this kind of is horrible, but it's full circle to what with you and your cancer experience. Like how you said you were living life before.
Oh yeah.
And then you got that cancer and it shook your life up.
100%.
It's like why do horrible things have to happen for us to fucking finally get it or be on the picture? You know what I mean?
That's a good word.
Because even when my dad passed away, Jobins, you don't think about, like right now, I'm not thinking about it or anything, but when someone passes away, you're flooded with like meanings of life, where we go, energy, like all these other things like that we're not consistently thinking about.
Yeah.
And it hits you when the moment happens, and that's it.
Wow.
What is that about?
No, so true, so true. I think that's something that hit me right when I was told the very beginning of the cancer, and I was like, man, that's the part where I was like, is God real? I'm searching, and so since that time, I decided to err on the end of believing in God, believing in the Bible, believing in hope, not getting stuck into any kind of religious thing. Every time I took that path, and I ended up uncomfortable in church, no disrespect to anybody that goes to church or whatever. I was uncomfortable in church listening to somebody talk at me for an extended amount of time, and religiousness with rules. Every time I went that route, I ended up hurt or empty. But when I went the route of just really erring on the end of hope and optimism and really bearing down and getting into what the Bible is, we got a little Octagon Bible study going right now. It's just been a beautiful thing. I think those principles for me, when it does hit, and I think you're absolutely right, when bad news hits, we've had our times. It was just a couple of weeks ago where ran into death, where death was tried to take me out. I had a really close call. So it's hard sometimes to connect to anything when that happens. It's almost like a depression just settles on you. Like maybe that happened with your dad or whatever, where it just hits you, where you can't even connect to anything positive. And I think one thing that's good about that is eventually you're going to come out of it. Eventually you get out of that hopeless state where it seems like time won't move at all. You're just stuck in time. And then if you can get into hope, then time starts moving. And I think you've done a great job at that. I see you emanate hope right now, brother.
I appreciate that very.
You too, Brendan. Yeah. We're on Schmitty, but man, you're such a positive dude. Every time I see you in the gym, you fire me up, man. You're filled with optimism, brother. You're just an awesome dude.
Well, it's back in it's a mutual relationship. Like me being at the gym has been so, like, shout out to him, shout out Sean, shout out you, brother, for that, for everybody, and you too, Kyle. And like with like talking about what you believe in, like I totally believe in something bigger than myself, and I think something that makes me feel even more that there's something bigger than myself is going to just getting humble. Like people, like we're in such a self-involved society that it's just I feel like everyone just needs to be humbled in like a spiritual way. Like I totally believe in something bigger than myself for sure, you know?
Such a good word. Man, that humbling, that jiu-jitsu humbling. There's something about being humble. I'm a guy that believes Jesus, he emanated humbleness. And, man, if you're going to be training, especially at our gym, you're going to get humbled pretty much every day in there.
Jits teaches you not to fuck with people.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? There are some of the most normal-looking people in there that are the...
Unbelievable.
You! Jobins. This is a nice guy, right? Master on the mats.
I don't know.
Look how big I am. You see the size difference here, right here? This dude will be rolling, and I'm like, I'm going to take it easy on Kyle because I'm so much bigger. He'll all of a sudden, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You know what you're doing. He'll flip my ass, Jobins. He flips me around. That's what people need to experience. You know what I mean? You're the nicest, most sweetest guy. You would never hurt a fly. But if shit were to go down, you could put a motherfucker to sleep in about probably 10 to 15 seconds.
I don't know about that. Roll with somebody like Tim, and that all changes.
Well, I mean, there's levels, but some loudmouth on the street causing a scene, you can handle that real quick.
That's
true.
That's true.
Yeah, dude, such an honor. And yeah, Brendan, you are a good energy, brother. You are.
Yeah.
Sometimes I give him shit because I'm like, oh, Brendan's just in the little Brendan Michael Moran and happy world. But I'm like, no, that's just more people need to be like that. We let things tear us down that if we dwell on can really tear you down. You know what I mean? But if you just let it go, move on, and be happy, life can be so much different.
So true, brother.
And that's something you do rock, Brendan. That is something you rock.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm not making a height joke right now, but last night, they asked me, like, oh, because we were talking about looking good and skinny and healthy and tall and short. They're like, oh, well, if you looked like Brendan, would you trade his height? And I was like,
That's funny. You have to have a thick skin. Dude, and Kyle, you know what would be so funny if we were able to do a roast of Sean O'Malley?
Oh,
because we were watching a Comedy Central roast, the best of Greg Giraldo. Shout out, rest in peace. Dude, he was a legend at that. And, like, because of the short jokes or, like, just getting personal with people's insecurities, but it's funny. It's in a good spirit of comedy.
I love it. I love it.
Would you be down for that, Kyle?
I'd be down. I felt like you got roasted a little bit on Kill Tony. They did a good job.
Yeah, but we got to do we could do it way better.
All go in on it.
Oh yeah, and we got to set it up. I want to set it up just like Comedy Central roast, where we're all we got a couple people to the left, we got a couple people to the right. Sean's in the center, and then we all go up one at a time. And you roast everyone that's there too. All of us get a little bit of roasting, but then Sean gets the most roasting at the end.
Wow.
Would you be so down?
I'm down for that.
Yeah, we haven't. I don't know if Tim and Sean will listen to the pod or get to talk to them first, but it is something we want to talk to them about and
That's
do.
a great idea. Nobody can say that he's got a bunch of yes men around him after that.
Oh hell no! And the point is to go hard. You know what I mean? And it's in the thing about roasting, Sean, if you're still listening, is that there is no stones not left unturned. So you know what I mean? There's no holding back.
Let's see our boys stoicism for real in a roast.
Whoa.
Yeah, so hey Jobins, if you like that idea, the roast of Sean O'Malley, please spam it in the comments and then spam it in Tim and Sean's next podcast episode.
So
All my fans, that would mean a lot. That'd mean a lot. Kyle, so how old are you, good sir?
48 years old.
You are 48 years young. Wow. You're not that much older than me.
Yeah.
I'm fucking 30. I'm going to be 31, dude. You're really not. You were 17 when I was born. So hold on.
Right on.
Damn. So what year was that?
1974, right at the end.
Damn. Damn. So did you play sports in high school or anything?
I did. I wrestled just a little bit, played some soccer, some baseball.
Uh-huh.
I was kind of into the athlete stuff, and then when junior year hit, there's girls, and you find out you could work and make money and not have to pay rent while you live with your parents. So I kind of fell off a little bit. But
really,
always been into exercise. Always since a young age, that's been my passion.
So you left the nest rather early?
No, I stayed at home and was just working. I worked at the grocery store. I feel like that time in your life, you got no bills, you're making money, your parents
Life's
are
good.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
You get a good, get girlfriend or whatever, everything changes. So I kind of lost focus of the sports life. I didn't really pick it up again seriously. I moved to I lived in Malaysia for 2 years. So we had a family friend out there. Yeah, that was an experience.
Why did you do that?
My family had an exchange student years ago, and we kept in touch with him, and he did really well out there, had some resorts and stuff like that. So
2 years out there?
Yeah.
And do you have you got to give me something. What's something cool? Like, explain that. What's something crazy?
Yeah.
You have any crazy stories?
Oh, definitely.
Give me some.
The girls really like the Americans, right? So I was seeing this girl, and I was in a more of a Muslim-oriented village, and somebody saw me go in there, called her dad, who was a military dude. So they all came in and stormed through the door, took me into the embassy, and were gonna put me in jail. It was right around the time Michael
We got a criminal on our podcast here.
Right. Because in Malaysia there's a law of proximity, and in some of those villages, it's enforced that if you're caught within like 100 feet alone with a girl, I forget what the footage is, maybe it's 50 feet, you're caught alone with a girl, you either marry her or you know what I mean? Yeah.
So you're telling me that you almost got in trouble because of the Riz.
That's so true.
Man.
That's awesome.
In Malaysia, in Southeast Asia, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Southeast Asian women.
That's right. It was a good time. There's a lot of fun. They have a Hard Rock Cafe out there, and so after that happened, my uncle sent me to a jungle boot camp where you got to like survive in the jungle. Give you.
I remember you telling me about this. Yeah, tell. I don't think you heard this story, Schmitty.
No, I haven't. Now I gotta hear.
Just one of those things where they give you just a couple of crackers and a couple of matchsticks, and you got to survive with nobody in a 5-mile radius in the jungle for 3 days, and you take
for fun.
Yeah, it was supposed to be character building and that kind of stuff.
How did that go?
It was rough.
So that's like Naked and Afraid almost. Really?
It definitely grew me up, because there were some days where I even look back on it in the cancer treatment where you get series of days where it's absolutely sucking. You feel isolated. You can't shake out of just the worst possible feelings. You're all netted up. So some of those days were in the threat of that, where it just really sucked. You weren't sleeping for the whole night. You're worried about animals attacking you, things like that. Kind of the whole thing we see on TV with some of these shows, Survivor and things like that. But it did grow me up a little bit. It kind of focused me a little more. So when I moved back to the United States, I felt like that jungle boot camp gave me confidence that I could move somewhere else. So I moved to Hollywood, California after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jungle. Wow, dude. That would have scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, it was scary.
That was humbling right there, dude. Because that would be really tough.
Yeah.
And then, but that's cool how it made you think like that. How it changed your perspective.
Definitely.
Like how cool. Maybe everyone needs to go through something like that.
I think
Go get lost in the woods for a couple days.
I think so. At that age, especially 18, 19, 20, you know what I mean? You get a little humbling, a little growing up.
Well, and people when they go into the military and they grow up.
Ooh, so true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So then when you moved to Hollywood, California, what were you doing out there?
Yeah, so I got into University of Southern California. It was just coming from Oregon. I never thought that I could go anywhere else, and having that new perspective, I just went for it. So going to school out there was in Hollywood, and it was interesting because right when I got there, I needed a job, and I started answering extra jobs. So I was on like a little infomercial, and then this movie had me. I ended up being an alternate for it, but it was Bikini Traffic School Part 2.
Bikini Traffic. Is that a porno?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Kyle, how much riz do you have?
Yeah,
what's bikini? What?
Yeah.
Bikini Traffic School.
Yeah, there's no X's behind the name.
And
is
no,
there?
there's no X's.
What was it about?
Man, it was just a B, maybe a C type movie, you know what I mean? Where there's traffic school, there was girls in bikinis involved, there was car washes, there was time at the pool. It didn't really even make sense.
What was your role?
I didn't actually have a role. I was an alternate as the pool guy in there. Okay. So I got to read in there, and they didn't actually get on the screen.
You do kind of remind me of Brian Callen. Have you ever gotten that before?
No, I never heard that.
Oh well,
He's
you do.
Cool dude.
He is super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. I bet you just got stories for days then. What'd you do after California? When did you move to Arizona?
Let's see. Arizona was 11 years ago. One reason I moved out to Cali is I was been into boxing for a long time. So I ended up moving to Long Beach because I found that the only person on the west side of the country that still taught the Catskills Customado form of boxing, that style, the Mike Tyson style. Coach Williams, his son Jeremy Williams, had that same style. So I went there and trained for a while, but I kept getting hurt. I trained for a little bit and learn. I just loved boxing, immerse myself in it, and I get hurt. So that's what led me to go eventually into exercise therapy. And then that's what brought me eventually to Arizona's work in that field.
Damn. That's pretty cool, man. Like you manifested your own journey your whole time. Were bills tough?
Yeah, there were times, definitely. I mean, living in Hollywood was probably the toughest time. There's a year or two there's cockroaches in your room.
And this is in the 90s or the late 80s?
Oh man, so this would be late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, okay. Wow, yeah. Damn. Different times. It's crazy how fucking life's changed so much.
There's really no internet yet. There's no a few cell phones, but not like it is now.
So how did you come to meet Tim and Sean?
Tim and Sean I was living in a condo, and I kept running into this woman named Hope who was battling cancer. Hope is the mother of Tina from our gym, Tina and Kells.
Okay.
At the gym. So they invited Kells, and I eventually met him, and he invited me to the gym. And
shout out Kelly.
The first day that I went in there, it was right in the middle of COVID, and people are, doctors and everybody was like, don't, stay away from gyms and stuff. But our gym, it was open. I think we had to go in the back door sometimes, or cover in the front and things like that. But Tim was just so welcoming to me, and something told me, I really believe it was God, is to start training there. So I started training, and something inside of me had me go every day. So the first probably 3 months, I don't think I missed a day. I went like 2 or 3 times, to the point
3 months?
Yeah, to the point that Tim, if you hear I was on the Timbo Sugar Show, I think it was episode 99. I had a couple interventions from Tim where Tim was like, dude, that's slow down. Because I was training, but I couldn't even really perform the moves because I was just so tired. But I just had it in my head that I was just going to train like a crazy person.
You were doing overkill.
Yeah.
Incredible, dude.
But I really believe in the principle, too, is that it's kind of like with lifting, is if maybe you take like 6 months to just work on the squat only, like squatting 4 or 5 times a week, your body doesn't necessarily, you're not going to get your max lifts or your max output, but for the rest of your life, you're going to have a stronger squat. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I sort of feel that. I kind of talked to Sugar about that a little bit too, that, just hearing about his career and talking to him, is that there were times when he just really went after the training and kind of beat his body up, to the point of you had to go through something. It's that whole principle what you're experiencing now is you're pushing in an area that's uncomfortable to grow, or what, in the jiu-jitsu gym, the same thing.
Oh, yeah. It's just, I don't know. I think when people, if they don't realize how these things can impact them, how big all these things that we do, and it could be the littlest thing that makes a big impact in your life.
Oh, man, that's so true.
So
true.
And it's easier said than done with a positive mindset, right? Because again, I'm going to reiterate, it's hard to walk into jiu-jitsu, Jobins. When you love it, it's easy, but it's hard because you work all day. Maybe you don't, maybe you do. But a lot of people who do jits and who are committed, you work all day, right? Then you got all your adult responsibilities. Maybe you got kids. Maybe you got other things. Then you got to worry about traffic to get to jits and time management. Because time management is something that I think I'm trying to get really good at time management. Because if everyone was better with time management, we would have better constructive days. And, just to get into jiu-jitsu is tough. To do it on top of chemotherapy, brother, is another level. Like, bro, I didn't want to go into jits because my feet hurt or my knees hurt or, my lump on my side. That's just a stupid fat tumor. That's nothing. You know what I mean?
That's not nothing.
And here you are, brother, dealing with what the worst thing life can throw at us.
Well, I gotta.
And you're showing up
People
to
have been
gyms.
so generous and kind to me in there. They're not trying to put me through the mats. I got Brock. I get to work with, man. He's been like the best partner I could have ever imagined since I've been rolling jiu-jitsu. He's been the best partner I've ever had. And that makes going to jits a lot easier.
Dude, he's really going to appreciate that because I know he looks up to you too, man. Just like, and he's killing it at the gym. Shout out Brock, our
Dude,
roommate, man.
he's
That's fire.
incredible.
It's so fire to hear.
He's so good. He works so hard. It's interesting because it's weird because I'm older than him, but I feel like he's sort of like my uncle or something. He's the one that's like when we're doing the moves, like he's like, okay, no, we got to get it down. I was like, okay, good. Before Tim comes over, I can get this down because Brock's gonna figure it out.
I feel like Brock has a good stern voice. He's like, he talks like he gets serious. He does.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I'll give him some credit. But what would be when you're feeling your worst, Kyle? What is it that pushes you to get into jits? What pushes you to go in there?
The love of people, the community. I try to focus too on that. No matter how bad I'm feeling, I don't think there's ever been a time, there hasn't been, where I've left jits and I felt worse. Maybe I have left jits and cried before a couple times.
Been there.
I don't even know what it is exactly. Like it wasn't like I could specify like one ass kicking. It was just the whole amount of everything
Just that
together.
ass kicking.
Yeah.
Just that day. It's like, today's not your day, kid.
Yeah.
But even then, I had something that had to come out of me. One time, Tim beat the shit out of me. And man, I feel like he does that before at some point to every person in the gym. It's like kind of his way to connect with you. I ended up crying after that. He felt so bad. He was like, calm down. It's okay. You'll be all right. And I'm sitting there.
You piece of shit, Tim. Wow. No, it is. I've been my ass kicked by Tim many times. It's fun. I'm glad that he does it to everybody. And you don't want it. When you have a coach like Tim, who's someone who's so serious and so good at what he does, but then also can be your buddy and give you the time of day
100%.
to have fun with you.
He's a special dude.
Special guy. That's why I'm so
man.
like kind of how you said earlier. I'm kind of going back. I'm butchering it, but because of him and people like you and people like David, you guys inspire me because I don't want to let you guys down. I don't want to let Tim down. I don't want to let myself down because if I let them down, I'm letting myself down.
Ooh, that's so good.
Yeah. And so I think that just all of us being around each other, like, because there are those days where you don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Those just days where you're like, fuck it, done, whatever.
100%.
But then what? I get a message from you. I get a random message from somebody else. And it's just like, damn, that just completely turned my whole day around. Walking in, I could be like, oh man, I'm really tired. I don't really feel like being here tonight. And then just talking to you or talking to someone else.
It's a good reminder that encouraging somebody with words, it can really turn things around. You had sent me a message a few weeks back when I was having just a horrible cancer sort of day, and just your message lifted me up more than you could ever know. And I think it's testament to giving encouraging words to people. And it's fun to joke around and stuff, and and get into a little smack talk. And I love that principle of roasting. I'm excited about that.
Right.
But then dropping some encouraging words to somebody, man, it's something that I think our world needs a lot more of.
We all need it sometimes. When we're down, sometimes all we need is that little boost, that little bit of love. And it's not hard to love when we're surrounded by all our brothers.
That's true.
And another thing too, it's like that tough love is necessary sometimes too. And sometimes it'd be like, did you earn this? Did you do this? And it's just like, they wouldn't say that if they didn't love you.
So true.
It's because they love you that they say that.
That's called the Schmidt end of the stick, I would like to say. Yeah, because I'm always on that end. I'm the tough love. But it's because my ass deserves it. I get myself in trouble. You know what I mean?
Before I forget, I gotta say hi to Kai and Luke. That's my two boys.
Let's go.
They're 14 and they just turned 14 and 13. They're within a couple of weeks of each other, and they watch all your guys' stuff. They look up to you guys.
That means the world, boys.
They're good dudes.
Dude, dude, remember when we were 13 and 14 years old? We were little shitheads. We were little shit disturbers. Are they shit disturbers? Or are they good boys?
They're too good, darn it, man.
They're too good?
I've been trying to,
Go break some shit.
I know, man. I've taken the philosophy of like, why don't you just do this? I'm kind of like pushing them the wrong way, and they'll go a little bit the nice way, but they haven't had had girlfriends yet, so that can change everything when you get around girls. You know.
Oh yeah, especially 13, 14. That's when the question marks start coming up. You know what I mean? That is so cool. Man, 13, 14, me and Brennan were playing video games. We were just hanging out outside all the time. Life was different when me and Brennan were 13, 14.
Nowadays, I'm just playing video games. Yeah.
It's like, damn, it's like he's still 13, 14 years old almost, man. Maybe your boys are a little more mature. No.
What games did you guys play then at that time?
Oh, man, 13, 14, we were probably still playing Halo, Guitar Hero, all the sports games. Me and Brendan loved venture games. We'd always do that. We loved playing the Wii.
Right
The Wii
on,
were always
Wii's
good times.
fun.
Me and Brendan grew up right next to each other, so like,
That's incredible.
yeah, we would
Your
just,
houses were next to each other?
yeah, like, so my house was on the corner, and then I could look. His house was on the next street down, so I could look into his backyard and pool and like see his house and shit. They could look up and see
incredible.
my front yard and everything.
You guys have the greatest brotherhood and friendship of all time, I think.
I appreciate that, bro.
I
Sean
love it.
Sean again was talking shit. He's like, "You guys aren't brothers," and I'm like,
Yeah, you are.
Sean, we've been best friends for 22 years. He's
I
my
think
brother.
family's who you choose to be, man.
I
If
know,
You wanna
I-
choose to be brothers, you're brothers.
I told Sean, I'm like, I got family that's not my blood, that is my blood.
Yeah.
All right, hold on, let me iterate this. I got my family that's not my family, and not family that is my family. Fuck,
Yeah.
I butchered it on the pod,
I know
Schmidt.
what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like, people who are my own blood, like, they're not even my family. There are, of course, some, but some that aren't. Blood wouldn't make me and Brendan any closer.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I've always been like that with a lot of my day ones.
Yeah.
That's something else that Tim and Sean kind of don't even take, because I think I pulled off a little more. It is hard leaving than that, like, everybody at home. It's tough being away from everybody.
Yes.
But again, being with all you guys, if I didn't have everyone, that would be even harder. I'm blessed with all the people I'm surrounded with.
You're so right. There's Jack. I don't know if you met it.
Oh yeah, I love Jackie. Right? Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I mean him. Yeah,
He's
I
such a
told
cool
him.
dude.
Yeah, I told him when he gets to episode 25, I'd go on his pod.
Hey, that's great. He's a guy. He just moved out from Boston. I think it's been 6-7 weeks now, and just kind of talking to him every day. I'm reminding him there's a big culture shock, and I'm sure you guys are still adjusting to it's a completely different culture, a completely different lifestyle you guys have walked into. There's still an adjustment phase probably going on.
And like Ricky was saying, like Schmitty was saying, man, just thank you for being here and all the people being here, because I miss my family too. Like, it's a lot
Yeah.
moving and leaving the nest like that. Shout out mom and dad. Shout out my brother. You know, definitely miss people. So so just thank you, man, for your presence and for everyone's presence at the gym.
It's a family.
Oh yeah, back to the culture shock. I think I'm used to it by now. This summer
Yeah.
was a little different than the first summer. It was a little hotter for a little longer.
Right on.
I remember the first year we moved out here, they were like, "Oh, it's a colder year." I was like, "Damn, yeah, we brought that. We brought that from St. Louis." But yeah, the heat is the only thing that I'm not too big of a fan of, and the price of everything, which is just everything,
Me too.
right? Damn you, government, and all the fucking problems in the world.
I know, man.
Brendan, you wrote down some shit. Do we have any good fights coming up? Do we?
The Derek Lewis fight still needs to happen
Oh yeah.
with Derek Lewis versus Jailton Almeida. And Jailton Almeida, Kyle, is a dangerous man in the jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Jake Nolan's a monster. That's gonna be a good fight.
Where Lewis, how that's gonna affect him getting arrested
Right?
the other day too.
I
coming
was
into
just
that
about to
fight.
say that. Did you hear about that, Brendan? No, he was going like what, 137 and a 50?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but he got out on bond. That was a real different action from Derek, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because he's usually in the headlines for like helping people in hurricanes. You know what I mean? So I hope he's okay. You know what I mean? Because that was reckless. I hope he could have been mad.
He said that wasn't me. The guy had hair. It's a totally different guy.
Derek, don't be funny about it. Oh, damn it. He wasn't funny about it. That would be Derek Lewis. Damn.
He's a good dude. It kind of shows that everybody needs to let loose, but you got to be careful not to hurt other people and things
I know.
like that. But at the same time, nobody's perfect.
Yeah, I tell Tim and Sean to slow the fuck down. Speed kills. I don't care how smart your Tesla is or whatever, how much you paid for whatever. Speed kills no matter what. You know what I mean? And then the fucker gets pulled over the day. He's like, Schmitty, and then he's telling people the story, and he's going, Schmitty was just telling me. And then it's like, well, why don't you listen? You know what I mean? He's always on me about listening. Mr. Sean O'Malley needs to listen a little more. Because it works the same way, just in different lanes. You know what I mean? Mine's food, his is driving. Yeah, ooh, no pun intended. Damn, Kyle, I could have went on and on with you all day. There's still so much I want to talk.
So fun.
Would you want to come back on again someday?
Dude, of course.
Can we come on your pod, dude?
Heck yeah.
How long? Shout out your pod on my podcast for me.
Untapped. We're Team Untapped with Levi Kelly. He's a former Arizona Diamondback Major League Baseball player, 23 years old. He's trying to become the first to transition from Major League Baseball to the UFC.
Let's go, Levi.
We try to talk about health optimization, pretty much the same kind of subjects you are. I think our community is, with Tim and Sean leading with the Timbo Sugar Show, the Red Hawk Recap, is we kind of have a like-minded sort of community, and we're all kind of intertwined with Rogan sort of at the top. And, man, I can't stop looking at this table, man.
Thank you. Shout out, Brandon.
Greatest table of all time.
Isn't it beautiful, dude? It's one of the things that every once in a while, I just take in and I go, I am so blessed to have this.
Heck yeah.
This is my podcast table till I die.
I sleep on this table.
Right? Oh, yeah. There's a couple things I've been wanting to do. Like Saturday night, you know what I mean? Well, we won't go down there. We won't get out of there. But yeah, how many episodes have you done with your podcast?
I think we're at 34.
That's so awesome, dude. Because like we were getting into, what's nice, Jobins, is I feel like we all kind of, even though we're all doing our own podcast, we all have our own type of theme. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Timbo Sugar Show, that's a mess. Then you got the Red Hawk Recap, which is a good. Tim's always good with that. He's got good guests all the time. Yeah. He's always got a message and a point to get across. Me and Brendan, we're kind of all over the place too. We're a bit of a mess.
I love that you guys usually talk about movies and things like that. I love it when you do that. You guys are so knowledgeable about that industry.
Hey, I appreciate that.
It's good stuff.
I've been watching movies since I came out the womb, baby. Tim, Mariah, they were saying, they were getting to me. I just believe this, Colin. You tell me what you think. Yeah. When I look at someone with a book collection, I go, wow, the other person's pretty smart. He reads a lot of books. I feel the same thing with a movie collection.
100%. Me too. Man.
Yeah. And then Tim and Sean, Tim was getting at me with, oh, but it's fake. It's Hollywood's image. And I'm like, yeah, there are movies where they are messages, but you got to be smarter than that.
Right in some of these movies, you guys are talking about DiCaprio. He's been in some incredibly well-written, deeply thought-out movies. The boys are getting to the age where I can show them different movies. Like we watched The Fighter, and they like that. And then we watched The Departed. That was a little harder to get them into, but once they kind of caught it, their age group is like Mr. Beast, where everything's moving fast, so it takes a minute for that slow roll. But those movies make my head hurt sometimes because the thinking is so
really
deep on them.
Kyle, see, that's interesting hearing from you because, bro, I feel like me and you are the same here when I say this, but I came out young. I understood. Like my teachers would always tell my mom. Even my one second grade teacher, Miss McKinnon, she walked up to my mom one day. She's like, "Ricky's the only one that laughs at my jokes." And I think I just have always had a high intelligence. I don't know, sound smart or anything, but I've always caught on to comedy and humor and everything. Like my attention span was so long. Like I could sit down and even as a kid, I was watching top quality movies and understanding them. You know what I mean? Now I'm sure there were some, like, of course, when I did get older, I'd rewatch them. I'd be like, oh, I didn't get that as a kid. That went over my head. But as far as like the meanings and life lessons that you can learn from movies,
Definitely.
I got lucky and blessed with my mom. There was only certain movies like Not Another Teen Movie, like sex comedies, or like really hardcore scary movies that she knew that would keep me up at night, but I loved it. And I'm like, Mom, please let me watch 13 Ghosts. Please, I want to watch it. But she wouldn't let me. But I'm so glad and blessed that my mom let me watch movies right away. I started like my whole life watching those kinds of movies because like I love movies. And
me too.
Yeah, like
I really think so from playing chess with Brendan, the way your brain works, man. I know that you write scripts and things like that. and then you've got your gift of humor, and you got so much charisma, man. You guys got to do something. You got to write him into some kind of movie, man.
I feel like me and Brendan are the reason why Saturday Night Live is absolute shit. Because I feel like if me and Brendan had some good writers in there, like me and him could do, like we're David Spade, Chris Farley. You know what I mean?
100%.
And I wanted, like, my dream is skits and acting, and Sean wants me to do it. I want to do stand-up, but I have the fear, right? It's the fear. And I'm like, with stand-up, it's hard for me because it's like you got to have a routine. You got to say the same jokes. You got to make them punch. You got to make them hit.
Grind.
I'm a reactive one, like kind of like Kill Tony.
Yeah.
I don't shit on Kill Tony because it's funny, but to me, I'm like, that's just guys sitting around bullshitting. You know what I mean?
Right.
I like.
Kill Tony though, man. It's about the craft of stand-up.
Yeah.
They go really hard with their judging, honestly. They don't take shit, man. There's this one guy on the one that Sean was on who like was just trying to be quiet and awkward. And he's like, get the fuck out of here. You were here the last week. Don't give any sympathy for this fucking guy. You could take the time, because he was mad because that guy was disrespectful to the craft. That's like coming into like a jiu-jitsu competition or something when you're on that Kill Tony stage and you've never even gone on a roll and then you get laughed off and you're upset. You deserve to get laughed off. That's the kind of energy Kill Tony brings.
Okay. I need to. You caught me because I honestly don't watch Kill Tony that much. I just see highlights.
Did you watch the last Kill Tony? They had there's a dude on there that he looks like he's 12. He crushed it. He's probably the biggest. There's Cam and there's Hans, right?
Mm-hmm.
They jumped off really good. This kid I think he had a bigger jump off than he's 21, but he looks like he's 12. He's sharp.
That's sick. You see, like my stand-up comedy, I grew up with Dane Cook, Bernie Mac, like all the legends. You know what I mean? Cat Williams. I loved Richard Pryor when I was a kid. I thought Richard Pryor was the funniest thing ever.
I feel like you guys love movies so much. I think that's where I really see you guys doing something in movies, like maybe starting with a short little. Your vlogs you guys are doing some incredible vlogs.
I appreciate that.
Very high level. I look forward to every time one comes out. It's like watching a good TV show or something, and there's not a lot of those out there right now. So I'd love to see you guys put something together, make a little screenplay, maybe even like a 20-30 minute movie. I mean, you got Sugar to build a little bit of familiarity with people or whatever, get the name out there a little more.
We love horror films, and I'm so good at scaring people. I've always wanted to direct a short horror film and like try to actually make it scary, because nothing fucking scares me these days in movies. And I'm like, I want to make something subtle that's terrifying,
like a Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, and I feel like in this kind of house with the people we have, I could totally do it. Especially with the cameras they have today, like we can make some low budget Blair Witch type shit that would be scary.
Would there be humor in it, or is it just?
Oh yeah, we could do it. Oh yeah, we could totally do it. It just would come natural. But thank you, Kyle. That really does mean a lot, because I look forward to it. I know sometimes I'm like, shit, we need to do it, because sometimes you sit and you have these ideas, but we don't make it happen. And it's funny how things can change once we just make it happen, right?
True. The timing has to be right. You guys have done so much since you've been here in such a short amount of time, and you got a lot of responsibilities. You kept the show going. I mean, the timing's going to be right once you settle in. I think in this spot, I'm excited to see what happens with that.
I appreciate that, man. Kyle. And I'm excited to see where the ReCharge Center goes, brother.
Yeah.
We're going to make this thing huge.
I hope so. We're in a spot now where it's either we're trying to grow, and we're taking some risks, kind of like when you first open up a business. When you're starting a business from scratch, it can be a little tough. You're taking a risk. We didn't quit our day jobs.
Oh, there's Sean.
But now we're at the point where we quit our day jobs, so now we're taking another risk to push forward. So we're like, oh shoot, so we need all of the support and encouragement we can get.
Oh hell yeah! Well, we'll definitely be shouting out, and I'll be shouting it on my gram more, dude.
Thanks, brother.
Sometimes you gotta take the risk to get the reward.
Oh, absolutely.
And it'll pay off. I believe in it. You guys are so good. Everything's so good quality. How could it fail?
Thanks, brother.
Well, we'll go ahead and cut it there, Joe, because we're past an hour. Kyle, we appreciate you. Didn't that go by so fast?
It did. It's so fun.
And it sucks, too, because I had so much more to ask you. But my computer, it heats up at a certain point, and it just shuts off. And if I were to lose this beautiful podcast with you, I'd be upset. So we're going to reschedule and do another one.
Right on.
And me and Brent are going to come on your pod, right?
Let's go.
Let's do it. We thank you so much, bro.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle. You're a legend, brother.
Hey, what an honor to be on here. Thanks for having me.
And one more time, Jobins, go watch
What's that?
your podcast.
Oh, my podcast, Untapped.
Untapped, baby. I'll put the link in the bio. Go fucking subscribe, Jobins. And thank you again for watching. We love you guys. Kyle, we love you, brother.
Love you guys.
And again, Jobins, I didn't want to get into it too much, but you're dealing with cancer, man, and you're fighting the good fight. And we pray and think about you all the time.
Thank you so much.
So, Jobins, if you could just send some prayer. I strongly believe in the power of prayer. And Kyle and his family, they're just some of the best people in the world. So just send some fucking love and prayers to this guy because he fucking deserves it. We're going to fucking kick cancer's ass.
Hey, let's go.
Let's keep fucking going, Kyle.
I believe it.
All right, let's go. You guys have a good week. We'll see you next time. Doses.